this video, we're going to look at how to change colour when we're knitting. So the first thing I've done here is I've just done 2 rows of stocking stitch, so knit a row, purl a row, and I'm going to show you how to change. It's really easy. So basically, when I come to start my next row, so if we're doing stripe work, I'm going to get my different colour yarn. So I'm going to put my needle in as if I was knitting my stitch, try and keep some tension on the loose bit of blue that I've got there, and then we're going to wrap the new colour over, okay, like that. And then we're going to keep knitting with the new colour. Now, just make sure you don't use your short end. All right, there's nothing worse than getting 3 stitches in and realising you've run out of yarn because you used the wrong end. All right, and then we just knit in our new colour all the way to the other end. Which hopefully you've had lots of practice at by now. Okay, now what I'm going to do here before I do anything else is I'm going to go back to where I brought my new colour in, and I'm just going to tie a little knot just to secure it. Okay, and then later on I can weave that in. Now I'm going to carry on as if we're doing stripe work just for another row, and do another row in this colour. So I'm on a purl row because I was doing stocking stitch. So I go all the way back to the other end. Now, if I am doing stripes, so if I wanted, for example, to carry on doing this in alternate 2 rows of stripes, then I can change back to my blue at the end of this row. And what I would do is I would carry my yarn up the side so that when I need it, I wouldn't cut it off, okay? Because then you end up with lots and lots of ends to sew in, and nobody wants to have to deal with that when you think you've finished a project. So what I mean by that is when I get to this end, I'm going to go back to using my first colour, so my blue. I'm just going to wrap that blue around, okay? And then I'm going to knit that first stitch. Sorry, I've not wrapped that round very well. I want to wrap it, there we go. Okay, so that just secures the cream in place, keeps the tension on that end. Okay, and then because I've wrapped it and I'm only doing 2 rows, if I was doing more than 2 row colour changes, then I would wrap it at every end, okay, just to make sure that that cream colour is being carried up the side. But all it means is that I'm not ending up with a loose bit of thread at this end, okay. The cream is kept tight so my tension doesn't get affected, and then I can just change on every row as I go up, okay. It just saves, like I say, at the end, one of the first things I did in stripes was a 4 colour stripe change, and I didn't even think about it. I just cut the colours, and there were so many ends to sew in. Definitely we don't need to do that. We just carry the colour up the side, and you can do it if you're using more than 1 colour as well. You just twist them around up the end and keep going, okay. Now I'm going to do one more row, and then I'm going to show you how to change colour in the middle of a row. I'm going to be honest, it's not any harder. You're going to be completely fine. If you are doing stocking stitch, most colour changes will happen on a knit row, simply because of how it looks and the purl rows at the back of the work. So there's no point me showing, I mean, you can do it on a purl if you want. Once I've shown you the knit, you'll completely understand how easy it is. But if you are doing intarsia or fair owl work, then you're more likely to do your colour changes partway through the row rather than at the end. So here I am, got a lovely little bit of stripe going on there, but I'm going to stick with my blue a little bit longer. So I'm going to do a few stitches of the blue, and then if you want to change colour partway through, it's exactly the same. When you come to knit your next stitch, get your new colour of yarn. Because mine's already attached, I can just wrap it round. If it wasn't, I'd just bring it in like I did at the end of the row and then knot it, and then we weave that end in later. And then I change colour by doing my next stitch in my new colour. It's that simple. Okay, if I want to change back to blue, again, just twist it round. Try not to pull too tight, because obviously I've done 3 stitches there and I don't want to upset my tension. So you don't want it too loose, you don't want it too tight. You want it so that it's got about the same stretch as the fabric itself has. That is something that comes with practice, so don't panic if your first attempts are a little bit holy or a little bit taut. you will get better at it with practice. So I changed there, I did 3 stitches in white. If we look at it from the back, yeah, it's still got the right amount of stretch. This is where I carried my yarn through. Okay, so it's hidden in my stitches, so it's nice and neat and out of the way, which if you're doing Fair Isle and intarsia is very helpful, because otherwise, again, lots and lots of ends to weave in, which we try to avoid. But when I stretch the fabric out, it's still got about the same amount of stretch, so I've not pulled it too tight. I've not left it so loose that I've got like a big loop hanging out here either. And that's it. That is all there is to it. You simply start your next stitch in your new colour. Good luck.